Do you want 2025 to be the year you waste time or the year you make meaningful progress? Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, has timeless principles that can help you save this year from distractions and wasted opportunities. Do you ever stop to think about how valuable your time really is? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, often reflected on time as one of our most precious resources. He understood that time is limited, and once it's gone forever. He made it a central theme in his meditations, constantly reminding himself not to waste a single moment. And it's a lesson we can all benefit from today. In our modern world, it's so easy to get caught up in the daily hustle, to feel like we're doing things, but still find ourselves feeling unfulfilled or behind. Time slips away in small, unnoticed increments, scrolling through social media, checking notifications, spending hours on activities that don't align with our true goals. And by the end of the day, we're left wondering where the hours went and why we don't feel like we've accomplished anything of true significance. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that time is the most finite resource we have. You can't buy more of it, you can't store it, and you certainly can't get it back. That means we need to treat it with the respect it deserves. Every moment should be intentional. Every hour should be spent on what truly matters, whether it's achieving your goals, cultivating relationships, or investing in your own growth. Marcus knew that much of our unhappiness and dissatisfaction stems from the fact that we waste our time on things that don't contribute to our well-being, and he often questioned himself, asking if he was making the best use of the time he had. This kind of reflection, checking in with yourself regularly, can help you become more aware of how you're spending your day. Are you focusing on what really matters, or are you getting caught up in distractions? The question to ask yourself is, how can I make the best use of the time I have today? What's truly important to me? We all have limited hours in the day, and the more intentional we are with how we spend those hours, the more control we have over how our life unfolds. In practical terms, this means prioritizing your day. Set clear intentions every morning. Don't let the small, unimportant things fill your time. Maybe that's taking a few minutes to reflect on your goals or making a to-do list for the day. It could mean saying no to distractions that drain your energy or not giving in to the temptation of procrastination. Small actions like this help you stay focused on what really counts. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that time is a river, always flowing forward, never stopping. So, when you make a conscious effort to protect your time, you're not just managing your schedule, you're taking control of your life. You're saying no to things that don't serve your purpose and yes to the things that will help you grow. Every moment is an opportunity to be productive, to grow, to be present, and to create. So, instead of letting time slip away, ask yourself every day, how can I use this time wisely? By doing so, you can start to make each moment count and build a life that reflects the values and goals that truly matter to you. One of the core principles that Marcus Aurelius frequently emphasized in his writings is the importance of focusing on what we can control. In a world filled with chaos and uncertainty, it's easy to get swept up in things that are completely out of our hands. We find ourselves worrying about the actions of others, the outcome of external events, or circumstances that we have no influence over. But Marcus Aurelius understood that these things only lead to frustration, anxiety, and wasted energy. He believed that true peace comes from recognizing the limits of our control. We can't control how others think, act, or what happens in the world. The only thing we can control is our own thoughts, reactions, and decisions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, focusing on what's within our power and letting go of the rest. The moment we stop wasting our energy on things outside our control, we can reclaim our focus, calm, and mental clarity. Think about how often we allow external events to dictate how we feel. You might get upset by a colleague's behavior or stressed about an uncertain future. We spend so much time and energy worrying about these things, when in reality, we can't change them. The Stoics would argue that this is not only futile, it's unhealthy. We can't control the world, but we can control how we respond to it. This is where our power lies. Imagine for a moment that you find yourself stuck in traffic. You're late for an important meeting, and everything inside you starts to spiral into frustration. You can't make the cars move faster. You can't change the fact that you're stuck. But what you can control is how you respond. You could continue to stress out, becoming anxious and upset, or you could accept the situation, breathe deeply, and remind yourself that your peace of mind is more valuable than the time you're losing. In doing so, you gain control over your emotional state, rather than letting the situation control you. Marcus often reminded himself of the importance of focusing only on what he could influence. If he found himself caught up in worry or frustration, he would stop and ask himself, "Is this within my control? Can I change it?" If the answer was no, he'd shift his attention to what he could control, his actions, his mindset, and his choices. This allowed him to conserve his energy and stay focused on what truly mattered. This principle can also be applied to our daily lives in more profound ways. For example, if you're working toward a goal, whether it's a personal achievement, a career milestone, or building better relationships, there are going to be external factors that you can't control. You can't control the economy, other people's opinions, or random circumstances. What you can control is the effort you put in, the attitude you adopt, and how you choose to show up every day. When you focus solely on your own actions, you stop wasting time on what's out of your hands. In essence, letting go of what's outside your control is freeing. It allows you to channel your energy into things that actually move the needle in your life. You stop feeling helpless and begin to feel empowered. The more you practice this, the more you'll notice how much peace it brings into your life. And you'll start seeing results, because your time, energy, and focus are no longer scattered or wasted on things you can't change. So, the next time you're faced with a situation that feels beyond your control, remember Marcus Aurelius's words. Focus on what you can change. Shift your energy towards what you can influence, your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. This simple shift in mindset can make a world of difference in how you experience the world around you, and more importantly, in how you protect your peace of mind. Living with purpose is one of the most transformative principles that Marcus Aurelius taught, and it's something that can change the trajectory of your entire life. When you wake up each morning, are you going through the motions, or are you consciously moving towards something meaningful? Purpose is not something abstract. It's found in the daily actions, decisions, and behaviors that align with our core values and beliefs. Marcus Aurelius believed that when we live with intention and clear purpose, our lives become far more fulfilling and time no longer feels wasted. One of the key lessons Marcus imparted was the idea that every action, no matter how small, should contribute to something greater. Whether it's your work, your relationships, or your personal growth, everything should reflect a higher goal or a deeper meaning. For Marcus, his purpose was clear. He saw his role as emperor as an opportunity to serve the people of Rome with justice, wisdom, and integrity. But even if you're not a Roman emperor, you can apply this principle by identifying your own purpose. What drives you? What values you want to live by? And what kind of legacy you want to leave behind? Purpose gives you direction. It helps you prioritize and focus on what really matters, allowing you to cut out distractions. It's like having a compass that guides you through the fog of life's uncertainties. When you're clear on your purpose, you know exactly where to direct your energy. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your vision, and you become far more intentional in everything you do. Think about the times when you felt lost or unfocused. It's often because your actions aren't aligned with your deeper values. You might be working hard or accomplishing tasks, but without a sense of purpose, you feel unfulfilled. Marcus Aurelius would argue that this lack of alignment is the root cause of many frustrations in life. When our actions don't reflect who we are or what we truly care about, we become disconnected from ourselves, and life starts to feel like a series of random events. But when you live with purpose, everything changes. You begin to approach each task with intention, knowing that it contributes to something meaningful. Even the most mundane activities, whether it's responding to emails or taking care of personal chores, become infused with purpose because they're connected to your bigger picture. When you approach life this way, time feels more valuable. You see every moment as an opportunity to move closer to your goal, no matter how small the step may be. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you're working toward a fitness goal. If you're simply going through the motions at the gym, you might eventually get discouraged. But when you connect each workout to a deeper purpose, whether it's improving your health, increasing your strength, or gaining more energy for other areas of life, you'll find greater meaning in the process. Your workouts no longer feel like a chore. They become an essential part of a larger, fulfilling mission. The same can be applied to your career, relationships, or any other area of life. When you align your actions with your purpose, every task, every challenge, every decision carries weight and meaning. Living with purpose also brings a sense of clarity in the face of distractions. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, the constant barrage of messages, the pull of social media, or the temptation of procrastination. But when you know your purpose, you become better at setting boundaries. You stop wasting time on things that don't serve your mission. You learn to say no to distractions and yes to what truly matters. Purpose acts as your filter. It helps you decide what's worth your attention and energy and what's not. So, how can you start living with more purpose today? It begins with self-reflection. Take some time to identify your core values and beliefs. What matters most to you? What do you want to achieve in this life? Once you have a clear sense of your purpose, begin to align your daily actions with it. Ask yourself with every decision, does this help me fulfill my purpose? And if the answer is no, don't be afraid to let it go. Living with purpose doesn't mean that every moment has to be filled with intense focus or grand achievements. It's about finding meaning in the small, everyday actions and recognizing that each moment is part of a larger journey. When you live with purpose, you begin to see time as a precious gift, and you make the most of every moment. By embracing this Stoic principle, you can live a life that is not only productive, but deeply fulfilling. And as Marcus Aurelius would say, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Daily reflection is a powerful practice that Marcus Aurelius swore by, and it's something that can completely transform the way you live your life. Each day, Marcus would take time to reflect on his actions, thoughts, and behaviors, asking himself whether they aligned with his values and whether he had lived in accordance with his principles. This practice of self-reflection isn't just about looking back at the day. It's about consciously examining the choices you've made, understanding your weaknesses, and recognizing your strengths. When you reflect daily, you allow yourself the opportunity to learn and grow, constantly refining your actions and attitudes. It's an ongoing process of self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius believed that life was a series of opportunities to practice virtue, and reflection was the tool that helped him stay aligned with that goal. By taking time each day to pause and evaluate, you can ensure that you're not just reacting to life, but actively shaping it with intention. One of the reasons this practice is so valuable is that it gives you a moment to step outside of yourself and examine the bigger picture. We often get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, making decisions in the heat of the moment or getting swept up by emotions. Daily reflection provides the space to slow down, allowing you to look at your actions with a calm, objective perspective. It's in these moments of stillness that you can assess what went well and what didn't. When you look at your day through the lens of reflection, you can start to see patterns in your behavior and thought processes, both positive and negative. Think about how many times you've gone through a day without fully processing what happened. Maybe you had a difficult conversation, but instead of reflecting on it, you moved on to the next task without giving it much thought. Or maybe you did something that didn't align with your values, but you brushed it off and kept going. By making reflection a daily habit, you bring awareness to those moments. You acknowledge your actions and thoughts, and in doing so, you gain the opportunity to learn from them. Over time, this continuous process of reflection can help you eliminate habits that waste your time, reinforce behaviors that lead to growth, and improve your decision-making. Daily reflection also helps you become more mindful of how you're spending your time. Many of us go through the day without questioning whether we're truly using our time effectively. With reflection, you can take a step back and ask yourself, did I spend my time today in a way that aligned with my goals and values? If the answer is no, you can course correct. This practice helps you become more intentional with every hour, minute, and second. Instead of just filling the day with random tasks, you start to focus on what truly matters, and you make sure that each moment is being used in a way that aligns with your purpose. Marcus Aurelius was not only an emperor, but a human being who had to confront the same struggles that we all face: doubt, fear, and frustration. And through reflection, he was able to find clarity, calm, and wisdom. He didn't rely on external factors to give him a sense of peace. He turned inward, using daily reflection as a tool for emotional regulation and self-awareness. He believed that by examining the self regularly, we could cultivate virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice, and ultimately become better versions of ourselves. If you want to start practicing daily reflection in your own life, it doesn't require a complex ritual or hours of introspection. Simply set aside 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each day to sit in silence and review your actions. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where could I have done better? How did I respond to challenges or setbacks? What did I learn about myself today? Write down your thoughts in a journal if that helps you organize your reflections. The goal isn't to judge yourself harshly, but to understand yourself more deeply and to learn from each day's experiences. Daily reflection is also a powerful way to track your progress over time. When you reflect consistently, you start to notice gradual improvements. At first, it may feel like small changes, but over the weeks and months, you'll see that you've made significant strides in aligning your life with your values, your purpose, and your goals. Reflection helps you build momentum and keep your focus on what truly matters. In addition to its power for personal growth, reflection helps you navigate difficult situations. Life is filled with challenges, and it's easy to react impulsively when things don't go as planned. However, through the practice of reflection, you can learn to pause, observe your thoughts and feelings, and choose a response that aligns with your higher values. When you reflect on your actions before reacting, you create space for wisdom and intentionality rather than knee-jerk reactions driven by emotion. This practice isn't just about looking back, it's about using your reflections to improve your future. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and by taking time to reflect on your daily experiences, you can improve the quality of your thoughts and, in turn, the quality of your life. So, begin today. Set aside a few minutes for reflection each evening. It's a simple yet profound practice that will help you live with more clarity, intention, and purpose. One of the most common barriers to achieving our goals is perfectionism. We often get stuck in the endless loop of overthinking, planning, and waiting for the perfect moment to take action. But Marcus Aurelius, in his wisdom, encourages us to prioritize action over perfection. He recognized that perfection is an illusion, and striving for it can often lead to procrastination, doubt, and unnecessary delay. Instead of waiting for everything to align perfectly, he advocated for taking decisive action, no matter how imperfect the situation may seem. This principle of focusing on action rather than perfection can be transformative in your life. When you take action, you break the cycle of overthinking. You stop waiting for ideal circumstances and start making progress. It doesn't matter if the plan isn't perfect or the outcome uncertain. What matters is that you are moving forward, learning as you go, and adjusting your approach along the way. By embracing this principle, you start to see that each step you take, no matter how small, is an important part of the process of growth and achievement. Think about how often we hold ourselves back because we feel that our efforts won't be good enough. We delay writing that blog post, launching that project, or speaking up in a meeting because we're afraid it won't be flawless. But in reality, perfection is subjective. What you consider imperfect may actually be exactly what others need or appreciate. The fear of imperfection can paralyze us and keep us stuck, which is exactly what Marcus Aurelius warned against. The path to progress isn't a straight line. It's filled with mistakes, missteps, and learning opportunities. By focusing on action, we give ourselves the opportunity to fail, learn, and improve. Every time you take action, no matter how imperfect, you move closer to your goals. Marcus understood that striving for perfection could prevent growth. Instead, he emphasized making progress through constant effort, even when it's messy. This doesn't mean being careless or disregarding quality. It means being willing to move forward without being paralyzed by the need for perfection. Consider the times when you've delayed starting something because you were waiting for the perfect conditions. Maybe you've hesitated to write a book, launch a business, or even ask someone out on a date because you were waiting for everything to be just right. By doing so, you may have missed out on valuable opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to embrace action in the face of uncertainty and imperfection. Every action, even if it's not perfect, builds momentum. And momentum is one of the key drivers of success. Taking action isn't just about doing more. It's about creating habits of execution. It's about breaking the bigger tasks into smaller, manageable steps and taking one step at a time. You'll find that, over time, the more you take action, the more confident you become in your ability to adapt, learn, and improve. When you focus on action, you cultivate a mindset that values progress, learning, and adaptability over perfection. Action also helps you combat feelings of overwhelm. Often, when faced with a big task, the thought of it can feel so daunting that you don't know where to begin. Instead of waiting for the perfect plan or moment, take the first step. Even if it's a small one, it will create forward momentum. It's the act of starting that often makes all the difference. When you act, you immediately start gathering feedback, learning from your mistakes, and adjusting your approach. Waiting for everything to be perfect only prolongs the cycle of fear and hesitation. Marcus Aurelius was not only a philosopher, but also a leader in the Roman Empire, a man who had to make decisions and take action under immense pressure. He didn't wait for every decision to be perfect. He moved forward with conviction and learned from the outcomes. His philosophy emphasizes the power of doing and the courage to move forward without fear of failure. In your own life, this principle can help you push through barriers of self-doubt. Instead of waiting for a perfect version of yourself to emerge, you begin where you are. You take action now, in the imperfect state that you're in, and trust that your efforts will lead to growth. You don't need to wait until you feel fully prepared or fully skilled. By acting, you give yourself the space to develop, evolve, and improve through real-world experience. So, if you're finding yourself stalled by perfectionism, take a step back and ask yourself, what action can I take right now, no matter how imperfect it may seem? Break down the task, take that first step, and let go of the need for everything to be flawless. Remember, it's not about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it. By taking action, you're creating momentum, learning along the way, and ultimately achieving more than if you waited for the perfect time. Embracing adversity is a principle that Marcus Aurelius emphasized frequently in his writings. He understood that life is full of challenges, obstacles, and hardships. Rather than resisting these difficulties or wishing they didn't exist, he advised accepting them and seeing them as opportunities for growth. In his view, adversity is not something to avoid, but something to embrace, because it is in the face of challenges that our true character is formed. This mindset shift is incredibly powerful. When we face adversity, our first instinct is often to resist, to complain, or to avoid it altogether. We want life to be easy, comfortable, and predictable. But the truth is, no significant growth ever comes from comfort zones. The moments that test us, push us to our limits, and challenge our beliefs are often the very moments that lead to our most profound transformations. Marcus Aurelius saw adversity not as an obstacle, but as a gift, a chance to refine ourselves and to practice virtues like courage, patience, and resilience. Think about a difficult situation you've faced in your life. Maybe it was a setback at work, a personal loss, or a tough relationship. In the moment, it may have felt overwhelming or unfair. But when you look back now, what lessons did you learn from that experience? How did it shape who you are today? Marcus Aurelius would argue that these difficult moments were not accidents, but opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. One of the key elements of embracing adversity is reframing how we view challenges. Instead of seeing them as disruptions or unfair burdens, we can start to view them as essential components of our personal development. When faced with adversity, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? It's easy to feel like the world is against us when things go wrong, but by shifting our perspective, we start to see that every difficulty has something valuable to teach us. Take a moment to consider the great successes and achievements of people you admire. Often, those who have achieved the most significant things in life have been through intense struggles. The entrepreneur who faces financial ruin but persists and builds a thriving business. The athlete who overcomes injury to win a championship. The artist who faces constant rejection but keeps creating. These stories show us that adversity is not the end of the road. It's often the beginning of something extraordinary. Embracing adversity doesn't mean seeking out hardship or wishing for struggle. It means accepting the inevitability of difficult times and using them as fuel for growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful statement reminds us that what we view as an obstacle can actually become the path to progress if we shift our perspective. Instead of avoiding the hard things, we can learn to see them as integral to our journey. This principle is also about resilience. Resilience doesn't mean never feeling defeated or never being affected by hardship. It means acknowledging the difficulty, feeling the emotions that come with it, but not allowing it to define us or stop us. It's about getting back up after we fall and continuing to move forward with determination. Every time we face adversity and choose to rise again, we become stronger. Think about a time when you've overcome a difficult situation. Maybe it was a personal challenge, a work setback, or something you feared. How did you feel once you made it through? Often, we emerge from adversity with a new level of strength, clarity, and confidence. These moments of overcoming are like muscle growth for the mind. The more we face and embrace adversity, the stronger and more capable we become. Additionally, embracing adversity also helps us develop empathy and compassion for others. When we experience hardship, we gain a deeper understanding of what others may be going through. This sense of shared human experience can deepen our connections and motivate us to be kinder, more supportive, and more understanding. In practical terms, embracing adversity means not running from challenges, but facing them head-on. When something difficult arises in your life, instead of focusing on how unfair it is or wishing for things to be different, ask yourself how you can learn and grow from this moment. What skills can you develop? What new strength can you cultivate? How can you turn this adversity into an opportunity? Marcus Aurelius also understood the importance of self-control during difficult times. When we face adversity, it's easy to lose our temper, become reactive, or make hasty decisions. But by practicing self-control, we maintain our inner peace and keep moving forward with purpose. He advised that we should always remember that we have the power to control how we respond to adversity, and this is one of the most powerful forms of freedom. As you continue your journey through life, remember that adversity is inevitable. It's not something to fear or avoid. Instead, look at each challenge as an opportunity to grow, to refine your character, and to practice resilience. Just like the ancient Stoic philosophers, you can embrace the obstacles in your life and turn them into stepping stones toward a more fulfilling and purposeful existence. The way you face adversity will shape your future, and the strength you develop in times of hardship will carry you through even the toughest moments. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of staying present and avoiding distractions in his meditations. He believed that true focus could only be achieved by immersing oneself completely in the task at hand. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere. social media, notifications, endless to-do lists, and the constant pull of multitasking. But Marcus's wisdom teaches us that we are most productive and at peace when we give our full attention to the present moment. Living in the moment, free from distractions, is not just about reducing stress. It's about fully engaging with life, experiencing it with depth, and making our actions meaningful. We often allow external distractions to steal our focus, causing us to lose track of our goals and the essence of what we are doing. Marcus recognized that a scattered mind is a hindrance to living a life of purpose. When we are distracted, we end up wasting time, not making progress, and worst of all, not truly living. Consider a time when you were completely absorbed in something, a hobby, a project, or even a conversation. In that moment, you likely felt a sense of flow, where everything else faded away and you were fully immersed in the experience. This is the kind of presence Marcus Aurelius spoke of, a state of focus that allows you to give your best to whatever you are doing. It's in these moments of full engagement that we perform our best and derive the most satisfaction. One of the most common distractions in today's world is the constant barrage of digital notifications. Our phones ping every few minutes, pulling us away from what we are doing and fragmenting our attention. Marcus Aurelius, had he lived in our time, would likely have cautioned against the dangers of constantly seeking external validation or being pulled away by trivial matters. Every time we check our phone, scroll through social media, or check an email, we lose a piece of our focus and our attention becomes diluted. This makes it harder to achieve anything of true value. To follow Marcus's principle of staying present, we need to practice the art of mindfulness. This means taking deliberate action to silence distractions and make a conscious effort to focus on what matters. Start by setting aside specific times to check your phone, respond to emails, or engage in other distractions. By creating boundaries, you're telling yourself that your time is valuable and your tasks are worth your full attention. This can be as simple as turning off notifications during deep work, or having a designated space where you focus solely on important tasks. Marcus also wrote extensively about the fleeting nature of life. He understood that time is our most precious commodity, and every moment counts. Every time we get distracted, we waste a piece of that finite time. And yet, we often find ourselves consumed by distractions. Whether it's scrolling endlessly through social media, worrying about what others think, or getting caught in the cycle of comparing ourselves to others, we lose precious moments that could have been used for personal growth, progress, or meaningful activities. By staying present, we honor the gift of time and make it count. To practice presence in your own life, start by being mindful of your thoughts. When your mind begins to wander to the past or the future, gently bring it back to the present. Focus on your breath, on the task at hand, and remind yourself that this moment is all you truly have. When you immerse yourself in the present, you open up to new possibilities. You create space for clarity, creativity, and growth. It's also helpful to practice gratitude as part of staying present. When we focus on the here and now, we begin to appreciate what we have, rather than constantly striving for what we don't have. Gratitude is an antidote to distractions because it shifts our attention away from what we lack and places it on the abundance around us. Whether it's the simple joys of today, the relationships we cherish, or the work we're doing, being grateful brings us back to the present moment. In terms of personal productivity, staying present increases the quality of our work and the speed with which we accomplish it. When we are fully focused, Tasks are completed more efficiently, and the quality of our results improves. This focus also allows us to become better at making decisions and solving problems. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by too many options or distractions, we can think clearly and prioritize what truly matters. In a world full of noise and distractions, the ability to concentrate on the present moment is a superpower that helps us excel. Sometimes, staying present also means learning to say no. In an age where we are constantly offered new opportunities, social events, and distractions, it's important to protect our time and focus on what is truly aligned with our values and goals. Marcus Aurelius would have advocated for rejecting the unnecessary, for saying no to anything that detracts from our purpose and peace of mind. This is how we guard our focus, by setting boundaries and being mindful of what we allow into our lives. A practical exercise for staying present is to adopt a mindfulness practice, such as meditation. Taking just a few minutes each day to sit in silence and focus on your breath can help train your mind to stay centered. When you practice mindfulness regularly, it becomes easier to bring your attention back to the present moment when distractions arise. It also improves your ability to focus in all areas of your life, making your actions more intentional and meaningful. Staying present is not just about doing one thing at a time. It's about truly being in that moment, appreciating its significance, and giving it your full attention. Marcus Aurelius understood that our lives are shaped by the moments we spend in the present. By practicing presence, we stop wasting time on distractions and create space for the things that truly matter: growth, connection, and purpose. It's through this discipline that we live with intention and make every moment count. Marcus Aurelius believed that one of the most powerful tools for living a fulfilling life was cultivating an attitude of gratitude. He wrote extensively about the importance of being thankful, not just for the big wins, but for the small, everyday moments that we often take for granted. Gratitude, according to Marcus, is a way of acknowledging the abundance already present in our lives, no matter the external circumstances. In a world where we're often preoccupied with what we don't have or what's going wrong, practicing gratitude can be a transformative act that shifts our perspective entirely. When we express gratitude, we make a conscious choice to focus on the positive. In our modern lives, it's easy to get bogged down by setbacks, disappointments, or the pressure of unmet expectations. But Marcus Aurelius, in his reflections, would remind us that we are always in control of how we respond to these challenges. Instead of letting frustration or negativity take root, we can reframe our mindset by focusing on what we do have. This simple shift can help us rewire our thinking, leading to a greater sense of peace and satisfaction. Think for a moment about the things in your life that you're grateful for. It might be the people who support you, the opportunities you've had, or even the simple comforts of daily life, like a hot cup of coffee or a good night's sleep. We often overlook these blessings because we are so focused on what's missing or what we still need to achieve. Yet, true happiness doesn't come from accumulating more. It comes from recognizing and appreciating what's already around us. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in managing our expectations and reducing our sense of entitlement. When we're constantly chasing more or wishing for different circumstances, we become disconnected from the present moment and what it has to offer. Marcus Aurelius knew that life is not about attaining perfection or reaching some distant ideal version of reality. It's about finding peace and contentment within the life we have right now. By practicing gratitude, we remind ourselves that we are enough and that the current moment holds value if we choose to see it that way. In his meditations, Marcus also emphasized how gratitude can help us deal with adversity. Life is full of difficulties, but the Stoics taught that these challenges are an opportunity for growth. Gratitude, when practiced in the midst of hardship, helps us see the lessons within these struggles. Even when things seem difficult, there is always something to be thankful for. Perhaps it's the lesson learned, the strength gained, or the support of others during tough times. By acknowledging these aspects, we can transform pain into a source of gratitude, making us stronger and more resilient in the face of future obstacles. Gratitude also has a ripple effect. When we express thanks to others, it not only strengthens our relationships, but also encourages a culture of kindness and appreciation. Think about how good it feels when someone thanks you for your help or for just being there. This simple act of acknowledging others creates a sense of connection and mutual respect. When we cultivate gratitude, it doesn't just improve our own lives, it improves the lives of those around us as well. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is how it can increase our overall happiness. The more we focus on what we're grateful for, the less space there is for negativity or discontent. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. This aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle that our minds shape our reality. By choosing to focus on gratitude, we train our minds to see the good and to cultivate joy in the present moment. Incorporating gratitude into our daily lives doesn't have to be difficult. It can start with something as simple as taking a few minutes each day to reflect on what we're thankful for. Some people keep a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things they are grateful for each day. Others take a moment during their morning routine or before bed to express thanks for the small, beautiful things that make life worthwhile. Over time, these small moments of reflection can have a profound impact on our overall outlook on life. Gratitude also helps us maintain a sense of perspective. In difficult times, it's easy to feel as though everything is going wrong, but taking a step back and acknowledging the good can help restore balance. It's a reminder that life isn't all about the challenges we face, but also about the blessings, big and small, that we often overlook. Even in moments of pain or struggle, there is always something to be thankful for if we take the time to look for it. At its core, gratitude is a practice of mindfulness. It forces us to slow down and appreciate what's around us, to pause and take in the moment. In a world that often pushes us to move faster, achieve more, and be constantly busy, gratitude encourages us to slow down, breathe, and appreciate the present. It's an antidote to the constant rush of modern life, reminding us that true fulfillment comes not from external success or accumulation, but from the peace we cultivate within. To truly embody the Stoic practice of gratitude, we must let go of the desire for constant external validation and focus instead on the internal satisfaction that comes from appreciating the present moment. By recognizing that we have everything we need right now, we can stop chasing after the next big thing and begin living with a deeper sense of fulfillment and contentment. Gratitude, when practiced regularly, becomes a powerful habit that shapes how we experience the world. It enhances our well-being, nurtures our relationships, and helps us navigate life's challenges with grace. By embracing gratitude, we learn to savor the beauty of the present, fostering a life that is both meaningful and deeply satisfying. One of the most significant lessons that Marcus Aurelius imparted was the importance of letting go of the opinions of others. This principle is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy because it teaches us to focus on our own values and inner compass, rather than seeking validation from the external world. In today's society, we are constantly bombarded by external judgments, whether it's from family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers on social media. It's easy to get caught up in the opinions of others and let them dictate how we feel about ourselves or how we make decisions. But Marcus Aurelius believed that allowing the opinions of others to shape our self-worth is not only unwise, but it also wastes our time and energy. If you take a moment to reflect, you'll realize how often we allow other people's judgments to interfere with our actions. We may avoid taking a risk because we fear how others will perceive us. We may hold back from speaking our truth because we worry about criticism or rejection. This constant need for approval can prevent us from fully living our own lives and pursuing the things that matter most to us. Marcus's advice was clear. We should focus on living according to our own principles, not according to the approval of others. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations, "Don't waste time on what others are doing or saying." The idea behind this is simple. When we allow the opinions of others to distract us, we waste precious time that could be spent living authentically and pursuing meaningful goals. Every minute spent worrying about how others perceive us is a minute taken away from the work that truly matters. And the truth is, no matter how much we try to please others, we will never be able to satisfy everyone. There will always be critics, and there will always be people who disagree with us. The Stoics recognized this as a fact of life, and instead of being paralyzed by the fear of judgment, they encouraged us to embrace our individuality and stay true to our values. Imagine how different your life could be if you stopped caring so much about the opinions of others. How much freer would you feel if you focused on your own values, goals, and aspirations, rather than being pulled in different directions by the expectations of others? Marcus Aurelius believed that we should live our lives with integrity and authenticity. He argued that it's not what others think about us that matters. It's what we think about ourselves and how we live in alignment with our values. When you stop seeking validation from others, you open the door to living a more fulfilling life. You can focus on what truly matters to you, whether that's pursuing a passion, creating something meaningful, or simply being present with the people you care about. By doing so, you take back control of your life and your time. You also stop wasting energy on trying to meet unrealistic expectations or worrying about how others will react. This doesn't mean that we should completely disregard feedback or advice from others. Constructive criticism can be helpful, and we can learn from the experiences of those around us. However, it's essential to differentiate between advice that is meant to help us grow and criticism that is based on someone else's judgments or insecurities. When the opinions of others are constructive and align with our values, they can be useful tools for growth. But when those opinions are based on superficial judgments or unrealistic standards, they should be ignored. Another important aspect of letting go of the opinions of others is the ability to embrace self-compassion. We are often our harshest critics, and we sometimes project our fears and insecurities onto others. In reality, most people are too focused on their own lives to spend as much time judging us as we think. The more we understand this, the less power external judgments have over us. Letting go of the opinions of others is an act of self-love. It's about honoring who you are and what you stand for without needing constant approval from the outside world. The freedom that comes with releasing the opinions of others is immense. It's not about being indifferent to others or rejecting meaningful relationships. It's about recognizing that your worth is not determined by anyone's approval, but your own. You can still value the input and feedback of those you trust, while not allowing their opinions to control your actions or your self-worth. It's about maintaining a healthy sense of self-respect and autonomy. In a world that constantly encourages us to seek validation and approval, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our worth by the praise or accolades we receive. But Marcus reminds us that true fulfillment and purpose come not from the applause of others, but from knowing that we've given our best to what we do, regardless of whether anyone notices. The pursuit of recognition can be incredibly distracting. It can lead us to make decisions that are more about seeking validation than about genuinely contributing to something meaningful. In our modern world, this is amplified by social media and the constant comparison game. We often measure success by how many likes, shares, or comments we get, or by how many people are watching or admiring us. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that this external recognition is fleeting and ultimately hollow. It's the internal satisfaction of knowing you've done something valuable that truly counts. When you focus on contributing rather than seeking validation, you free yourself from the pressure to impress others. You start to act from a place of intrinsic motivation, driven by your values, your passion, and your desire to make a difference. Your actions are no longer about proving something to the world. They are about making an impact, whether that's in your personal life, your career, or in the way you interact with others. The Stoics understood that this kind of contribution is lasting. It's not dependent on how others perceive you in the moment, but on the value you bring to the world over time. This principle is particularly powerful because it shifts the focus away from the temporary nature of external success and puts it on the enduring quality of your actions. Success driven by external validation is often short-lived, while true contribution is lasting. You can find satisfaction in knowing that you've done something good, even if no one notices or praises you for it. Think about the people you admire in life, whether they're public figures, leaders, or everyday individuals. Many of these people have achieved great things, not because they were concerned with pleasing everyone around them, but because they stayed true to their own values and beliefs. They did the work that mattered to them, regardless of what others thought. This is the essence of the Stoic mindset: to live according to your own nature, not based on the fleeting approval of others. By embracing Marcus Aurelius's teaching to let go of the opinions of others, you create the space to be yourself without the burden of external expectations. You focus your energy on what truly matters: your own growth, your own happiness, and your own sense of purpose. When you stop wasting time worrying about how others perceive you, you free yourself to live authentically and to make the most of your time, energy, and potential. In practice, letting go of the opinions of others can be challenging, but it's a skill that improves with time and mindfulness. Start by becoming more aware of when you're seeking external validation or adjusting your behavior to fit in with others. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it aligns with my values or because I want to be accepted by others? The more you tune into your own desires and motivations, the easier it becomes to prioritize your own truth over the opinions of those around you. The Stoic practice of letting go of the opinions of others is a path to greater self-awareness and peace. It's about creating space for your authentic self to shine, free from the judgment and expectations of others. It's a powerful way to reclaim your time, your energy, and your sense of self. Marcus Aurelius, in his reflections, often emphasized the importance of focusing on contribution rather than recognition. This mindset takes the pressure off constantly trying to be seen or acknowledged. Instead, you can focus on doing your best because it aligns with your deeper values and your sense of purpose. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most fulfilled. Was it when you were praised by others? Or was it when you made a positive impact, even if no one was watching? Perhaps it was when you helped a friend without expecting anything in return, or when you worked on a project that you were passionate about, simply because it mattered to you. Those are the moments where true fulfillment lies. When you're focused on contributing, your actions feel meaningful, and that feeling of fulfillment doesn't rely on the approval of others. Letting go of the need for recognition also leads to greater peace of mind. When you're no longer seeking external validation, you free yourself from the anxiety that comes with it. You stop worrying about how others perceive you or whether your actions will be praised. This doesn't mean that you should ignore feedback or constructive criticism. Those can help you grow. But it does mean that you no longer let the absence of praise or recognition determine your worth or your sense of achievement. One of the most freeing aspects of focusing on contribution rather than recognition is the ability to be authentic. When you're no longer concerned about how others will view you, you can show up as your true self. You can pursue your passions, take risks, and explore new possibilities without the fear of failure or judgment. Your actions become a reflection of who you are, not what others think of you. Marcus Aurelius's advice encourages us to be self-reliant and to cultivate inner satisfaction from doing meaningful work, regardless of external circumstances. He reminds us that we should aim to contribute to the common good, to improve ourselves, and to serve others in ways that align with our values.